on this missile hit was part of a broader barrage of missiles, but there seems to have been one ICBM that was used in that. That's from the Ukraine side. We've had no word from Russia on it, but there has been chatter in the past few days that Russia was gearing up to deploy a new kind of missile against Ukraine, possibly an ICBM. They've been working on ultra-sophisticated, longer-range missiles. The question is, why would you use an ICBM against Ukraine? It is an intercontinental ballistic missile, and normally used obviously for longer range purposes, but again it's part of the symbolism that we're seeing, because we've got Ukraine and Russia both very much trying to position themselves to be in the strongest place that they can to negotiate. So it's all part of that behaviour that we're going to be seeing in the next few months, possibly in the lead up to Donald Trump's inauguration.
Yeah, and it follows Ukraine's use of both US and UK made missiles to attack Russia. Is this a new phase of the war?
Well, it's an escalation, absolutely, because we are seeing these new kinds of missiles being used, as you say, like long-range missiles being used by Ukraine, also on Russian soil for the first time. But it's part of that posturing. They're really trying to get themselves to have the upper hand before we get to negotiations. You can see that also with Russian troops pushing on the ground inside Ukraine. We know that they've been moving aggressively in some street fighting in a couple of key cities in eastern Ukraine. It looks like Korokov, the Russian flag may have been raised in that city just today. So what we're seeing is Russia trying to accumulate as much Ukrainian land as possible. Equally, Ukraine is trying to get their troops to have as much Russian land over the border, because that's where they've been fighting also. So it's about, again, having all the cards that you can before you have to negotiate.
Looking at this from the Ukrainian side, I mean, if this weapon is now being introduced into the conflict, I mean, how widespread damage can it cause, and how is that